Bro. What is that sandwich?
Show's unbelievable.
My goodness.
I was mad there's only one. Crushed it.
I took the first bite. I was like,
Crushed it.
Welcome back to Football with Ben Roethlisberger. My name is Spence, and I am joined here, as always, with two-time Super Bowl champion Ben Roethlisberger.
Drinking a Guinness because it's cold outside.
Seems like it should be a Guinness commercial.
It's not hot chocolate.
No.
It's the weather is outside. But when you're in this show, you have to drink the appropriate beer for outside, and that's a Guinness.
That is very true.
That's just my, I know people, wait, breaking news, Ben's drinking a stout.
Yeah.
Well, Guinness doesn't drink like a stout. Guinness drinks like perfection.
Yeah.
I actually like Guinness a lot.
If you're going to do it, if you're going to do a stout, that's the one to do.
It is. I got to go back to Ireland at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I went once, and I definitely didn't like stouts then.
Really?
Yeah, it was a long time. I was like 30.
Will you go into bars asking for Bud Lights in Ireland?
No, I drink Carlsbergs.
Oh, okay.
So it's a real nice beer over there.
Yeah.
But no, I want to go back to where I want to. Yes,
do it right.
I want to get there, but
Are you talking about
cold outside,
footballing European tour? Is what you're talking about?
Oh, then it'd be soccer.
footballing.
You talking about soccer?
Yeah, dude. The weather here says it's 17 degrees, but it feels like 1.
Yes.
That says Guinness. It should say
cold.
pour yourself a Guinness.
Mm-hmm. It was nice, and it was tough because we were just in much warmer weather, as people saw from our little video clip that we put together.
Yes.
We came back to the not so sandy white beaches of snowing Pittsburgh.
No, it was much colder. The white stuff on the ground was much colder.
Yes.
Yes. But nonetheless, we are here with another episode. We have a great episode for you guys today. We are obviously going to talk about the Steelers-Ravens. Unfortunately, that did not go our way. We have a lot to talk about there. We're going to jump around the league.
Told you.
Yeah, you did call it. We're going to jump around the league a little bit, see what's going on in the playoffs, maybe have you rank the teams that are left, and maybe dive around, see the good old off-season news. So much happens as soon as the season ends, and it's crazy. This is like the prime time for headlines. And
we know what the headline should be.
What's that?
Ben went 2 for 6 on his picks this week.
Yeah.
So good thing it's not like I don't do the commercials for like bet whatever.
MGM or whatever.
Ben, listen to Ben's picks.
Yeah.
Do exactly what I said not to do. I didn't do so well, but we'll try it again. Try it again. Try my luck this week. I know we did talk last week too. I think we said maybe Ramon was coming on this week, but he had a big birthday this last week.
Happy birthday.
Birthday, Ramon, and some logistical things happened. So we're going to try and grab him this weekend for next week's show.
Nice.
So that's the hope. So hopefully we can make that work. So we'll maybe get him on. And we were going to also try and have Santonio Holmes we had talked about him coming on next week, but Ohio State's playing in the national championship game. And so obviously, being the big Buckeye that he is, he's going to go to that game. So that, first off, I don't know how that takes precedence over the show, but Tone will let it happen this time. Don't let it happen again.
Yes.
Anyway.
So there's a lot of exciting stuff coming. So stay plugged in at Football with Ben on Instagram or subscribe to this channel. Like every great football episode, we're going to start with the beer here. I had to go over to our good friends over at Creekside to grab these. They provided all these beers for the show today. And not only that, but I picked up a package. I just want to share some love real quick. Beth Metzler sent in a package. She said episode 48 when we talked about my youngest daughter's journey and the hiatus of the show earlier this year or last year now. She hand crocheted 2 blankets for my daughters.
Oh,
and
yes,
like
I saw
full,
that
full size blankets, dude. So Beth, she's an avid viewer of this show. Thank you so much for doing that. My daughters absolutely love them. It's not lost on me how much that means that you would take time out of your life to make something for my family. I cannot thank you enough. So thank you, Beth. That's awesome.
I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, they're actually super comfortable. I had to test out Ollie's. Not only did I grab that at Creekside, but I also grabbed these beers, one of which right here from, it's called Outlaw. All right. It is from, let me get the brewery here. It's called Outlaw, the Mile High Light Beer. All right. And here,
nice.
I'll pour this out here for you. And I'll let you, look at that. Look how light that looks.
Mile High Light Beer.
That looks as thin as the air out there.
It does.
You know
it's like
what I mean?
Mile High air.
Yeah.
It's almost like a seltzer.
Yeah, it is from Colorado. Let's see what information we can gather on this can here.
John Denver.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
What do you think?
My nose is a little stuffy.
4.2%.
Smells really. There's got to be some sort. It smells like something delightful.
Does it? Outlaw.
Man, that smells really good.
Let me do a little research.
Okay. Doesn't taste like it smells.
Okay, so it's from Outlaw Beer. And it's called Mile High Light Beer. And the cool thing about this brewery is that this Friday, they're going to do a tasting at Creekside.
No way.
Yeah, man. So you can go there on January 17th, Creekside, over in Swickley. And that brewery's going to be there, do a little tasting. You can sample this. Get yourself a little sample.
It's pretty good. It again, it smells like almost like it should be like not fruity, but like
oh, it is kind of like what, floral?
Like florally, but it has zero floral taste to it.
Oh no, that's delicious. That's a good.
But it doesn't taste like it smells, correct?
No, you're right. It tastes like it tastes like a full flavored lager, but I don't know if it's a lager. That's good.
Yeah, I this is very good. It's very drinkable. It's very light. It's very nice. Enjoy the gold. Punch the pickaxe.
There you go. That's one you're going to want to fill the cooler with.
Yeah, that's good. Again, it doesn't smell like or it doesn't taste like it smells, which is not a bad thing. It tastes great.
Okay.
It just doesn't.
Yeah,
it's like not vanilla, but
yeah, something like that. I almost said chocolate.
Something weird.
That's a weird. It doesn't taste like chocolate. We just
don't know what's going on.
Sorry, Outlaw, if that's a poor representation of you. Yeah. It's delicious.
It's good.
You know, you got have some. You can do so if you're local to Pittsburgh, Creekside. Go check it out.
But try that. If you guys can get a hold of that, try that and tell us what you smell. I want to know what the smell is and that it doesn't taste like the smell.
Yeah, Colorado known for good beers, one of which we swear by.
Yellow Belly.
Yo, yeah. Here, I'll keep this over here just in case.
Yellow Belly.
I don't know if you want to black and tan it with your.
Justin can't do that still.
We got to get him on here. We have a friend, very Irish friend.
And we will not mention Justin's name.
No, we couldn't. Never. We would never do that.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. You know whose name we can mention?
Who?
The top 7 teams
in
the playoffs right now. We had a crazy, was it wild card weekend?
Man, I was bad.
It was.
Well, it wasn't bad. The football was crazy.
Yeah.
The football was crazy. Some teams that I thought were going to, potentially get hot in the postseason. Some did, some didn't. Some dealt with injuries. Some teams looked like we thought. Last night, that Monday night game where I thought that I might have said on here. Either I said on here or I said it to like our group of people that the Viking Rams game. I think I said that if it was in LA, I gave the Rams like a 20% chance to win that game. Moving it to Arizona because of the wildfires, which we need to send our prayers and thoughts out to the people that lost their lives, people that have lost their homes, their properties. Big shout outs to all the first responders out there. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication doing what you're doing. We will continue to pray for all of you out there that are dealing with so much devastation and loss. Had to throw it in there real quick. Just thought about that. But that game moving to Arizona because of the fires, obviously, I dropped the Rams' chance to like 5-10. Mm-hmm. But the Rams are a scary team. And I think it starts with, let me back up. I think it starts with what I was trying to say is I've mentioned for a while, we've been talking about how good is Minnesota, right? How good are the Vikings? And I was saying over and over that I think, I'm getting I'm getting trail cam pictures. Gotta stop that. Meet that. That's gonna bother me. Minnesota's really good. The question was always what? The quarterback.
Yep.
Not saying he played bad last night, but he got sacked 9 times. Now that's not always on him. Some are on him. Some are on the line. But that was going to be my one question mark about that team. That being said, the Rams are one of the teams that if you were picking someone outside of the top 4 in the NFC, I don't know, they made it guess they would have been the 4 if they weren't like one of the top seeds. Like they're a team that's they're a dangerous team.
Yeah.
Okay, they're a dangerous team because they've got a veteran quarterback that's been there, done that, potential Hall of Fame guy. They've got not a 1 and a 2 receiver. They have 2 1s in Cooper and Puka.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a great tight end. Their defense is playing really well right now, and they have a head coach that's a been there, done that kind of guy who knows how to design and scheme up ways to get guys open, ways to be successful. And he's a Miami of Ohio guy, probably even more of a reason. That team, that Rams team, is going to be dangerous. I know I said that about the Bucs, and the Bucs, did their thing, but not in a good way. That Rams team is one of the teams that if you're going to bet on like the wild card team, that's the team to pick on. So anyway, yeah, it was some unique stuff. I never would have thought the Texans would have handled the Chargers. That kind of blows my mind. I kind of threw the Packers in there as just like a potential. I didn't probably really believe it, but I had to pick someone like that.
Sure.
So yeah, I didn't do so well with my picks.
Yeah, I looked at the Chargers, like the Chargers-Texans game, like the Commanders-Bucks game. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm favoring the Bucks, and then
well, the thing is, when you get to the postseason, you cannot turn the ball over. You can't afford to turn the ball over. And he had 2, I think, pick sixes. Now, I don't think either one was really his fault. Went through a guy's hands. Defense is there, picks it. That's just the way the football bounces sometimes. Unlucky for the Chargers, if you will, in certain things. But the Texans' defense showed up to play. And that's what's going to help you get it done in the postseason. You have a defense that shows up to play like that. And I did say that we didn't want to see the Ravens. We would have rather seen the Texans. I still think we would have had a better chance against the Texans because I don't think their offense is as good as Baltimore's. But what do I know? So all that being said, let's go to my top 7 teams in the postseason.
All right.
Left. Obviously, there's 8, so someone's getting left.
Someone's not even good enough to be on this list.
Or I could have 2 number 1s and put someone.
No,
in.
man. Cut one.
Make it 7?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. From 7 to 1. First up, the Washington Commanders. Next, at number 6, the Rams. I know I said it. They're a sneaky team, but I put them there. Next, the Eagles, because they just have a lot going on. Number 4, the Lions. Number 3, the Bills. Number 2, the Chiefs. And number 1, the Baltimore Ravens.
What?
I know.
Brother, you put the Lions at 4?
I know. I did just because I think it's because I did that because of their injuries. They have a lot of things happening over there that make me a little nervous.
That's very interesting.
Nervous. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, listen, man. I mean, who am I to argue with you? But
I like to stir the pot.
Yeah, there's just something about Dan Campbell that like gets my. Now that we're out of it,
yeah,
let's do that. So now that we're out of it, we got no,
horse left in the race.
Yeah, no horse left in the race. Who you rooting for? Who you now a fan of?
I just want to see good football.
You don't care.
Okay, I want to see good football. I will say this. I think I would like to see either the Bills or the Lions. I'd like to see Josh get one.
Yeah.
Or Jared in Detroit and Antoine Randall, who's up there, and Scotty Montgomery and Dan Campbell and that whole staff. That seems like a really awesome place to play.
Yeah, I think this is a divisional round, man. I feel like and maybe this is the beauty of the postseason, but I feel like the only one that is a coin toss here is going to be Baltimore and Buffalo.
Okay, well let's do that real quick while we're on it.
All right.
Okay, give me the first game. I'm gonna write it down. Let me cross this out.
2-6, huh? So you're saying there's a chance. So we have Baltimore,
AFC.
Buffalo, AFC. Who are you picking there?
Gosh, can we skip that one?
You want to come back to it and do it live? All right. So then you have Houston, Kansas City.
KC.
All right. You have Philadelphia and LA.
I would say LA, and I haven't looked at the weather yet. I would say LA, but I think the weather's going to be a factor for the Rams.
Okay.
Just because I know how cold it is over here right now. LA does have a little more to play for with all the, they almost have like this new thing. So if I'm gonna, because I don't want to be I don't want to be that guy that picks all the favorites. Well, not the favorites, but the like higher seeds.
Sure.
Because I don't even know who the favorites are on these. LA at Philly. I'm going Philly.
Did you just say you didn't want to? All right, then you have the Commanders and the Lions.
Lions.
Yeah. All right, let's double back.
Yeah.
Baltimore. Gosh. Buffalo. See, here's what I think's going in your mind. You want Buffalo, but you think Baltimore.
I do. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I think Baltimore is scary. I'm going Baltimore. Wrote it down.
scarier than Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills?
I just don't think he's got the. I don't.
All right, man. Hey, listen.
Baltimore's defense has been playing much better. They're playing with a lot of confidence.
I do not.
I hate going to get. Listen, I hate betting again. I'm actually not betting. I hate picking.
Yeah.
Against Josh Allen, especially at home. But that's what I'm doing.
All right.
Okay.
All right, man. There it is set. There it is set. So you're gonna have, if you are correct, we're gonna see the legendary AFC Championship game again against Kansas City and Buffalo, which I love watching those two teams play, especially in that game. And then you're gonna see the good old Eagles and Lions NFC clash.
You know what'd be fun though?
Yeah.
If the Rams beat Philly and Goff and Stafford played against each other.
Oh, dude, I would love to see that.
That'd be sweet.
You know NFL is trying to make that happen. All right, just because of the narrative, it's going to be a lot of holding penalties in that game against Philadelphia.
That would be fun. That'd be fun to watch.
Oh, what a narrative. Are you kidding me?
If Josh ends up, I mean, honestly, I guess it doesn't matter if it's Lamar or Josh playing Patrick, but like, it's like the new Brady Manning, right? Like those guys going at it.
What was last year? Last year was Lamar and, wasn't it? Where did they go though? I don't even know who was in the AFC Championship.
It's one of those three quarterbacks that played each other. I feel like the last 3 years. So, but yeah, that would be really fun to watch an LA Goff Stafford matchup. That'd be really cool.
Well, Goff got him last time they played.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. But that's why this one's one that matters.
Come on, man. I mean, you're going to have to contain Saquon Barkley, which I don't know is possible.
Yeah,
I thought Green Bay did a decent job early, but
did you see that he slides at the end of the game and loses all these people money?
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah. So I think he slides, and there was like a big he was like a big one of the heaviest bets of either the weekend or that game was him scoring a touchdown or doing something.
Yeah. If he completed that run,
if he completed the run, he would have made all these people all this money, and he didn't.
Do you think that's?
I think it was a score.
Yeah. Do you think that's a classy move, or do you think that's like?
I don't think he had any. He didn't do it to any bettors. I just think he just didn't want to run up the score, and I think that's the thing to do. Like get down and just not run it up. Same reason. Like I always thought it was weird when I was first playing with Coach Cowher, and we would my rookie year, and when we won all those games, we would end up getting down to the 5-yard line with a minute and a half to go. And instead of scoring, he would take a knee. And I was always like, why don't you just want to score? Not to run it up, but just that just seems like the right thing to do. Right. But then it's as you start to see, okay, classy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. We're here, we did it, we're not going to run it up on y'all. And so I'm like, okay. That was the first time I'd ever thought or heard of that. Right. And maybe it's happened before. I just had never come across anything like that. But when he would do that, the first time I'm like, taking a knee? I'm like, we're on the 4-yard line. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. I'm sure you don't condition the players to think like that. You condition the coaches, and you want all you guys gunning for the end zone always. But it's a classy move. So him going down, so I just feel like you see more and more where players have a chance to score and they go down. Yeah. And sometimes it's because you don't want to give the other team the ball back and risk whatever happens. But I think it's classy when you take a knee. I think it just lets you know hey, listen, we're done. Yeah. We're respecting. Well, it's funny because Tom Brady respectfully beat you. Yeah. Tom Brady was calling the game, and he said, "I don't know that I would have been as classy." And I think that's just that competitor mindset of no, I would have scored. The instinct to score. Or maybe Tom's just not classy. You stay classy, San Diego. You stay classy, Tom. Cool. Well, the next thing I want to do before we get into the Steelers Ravens game is kind of dive into what happens at the end of the year. You get the shuffle, where players start going places, but coaches and GMs start going places. And there's a couple teams looking right now. The last I checked yesterday, I know Vrabel went to New England, which is really cool. I'd be curious about your thoughts on that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think that's a good hire. I think he's a good coach. I think he knows how to coach the right kind of way, brings a specific kind of toughness, accountability. He was a great football player, good coach when he was with Tennessee. It's interesting that, they hired their coach Mayo and had 1 year with him. A former player, bring him in after Belichick, 1 year, get rid of him, bring another former player in. It's the interesting thing they always say, you never want to be the guy that replaces the guy. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy that replaced the guy.
Yeah.
No one wants to follow Belichick, just like probably no one wants to follow Tomlin.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom did a great job of following Cowher.
Yeah.
But it's
still big shoes though.
It's a tough thing to do. So I think that'll be a good hire for them. I think he'll do things and do things the Patriot way, if you will. So I think that's a good move for them.
Yeah. So you have a handful of other teams that are looking. I'd be curious who you think makes the most sense for those teams.
Oh, jeez. I might be horrible with those things.
Yeah. Well, the first one, I don't know the coach is going to help much, is Chicago.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, the hard part is you have to figure out, like, are you bringing in a head coach that's also the GM that makes all the decisions? Are you getting a separate GM? How are they working together? Who's got more pull? There needs to be a clear, like, level, like pecking order, if you will, right? Like, is it the owner, then the GM, then the coach? Is it the owner, the coach, GM? Like, how does it? I know what it's supposed to do, but you get guys like you can say what you want, and I know Omar Khan is the general manager here. Mike Tomlin makes decisions. Now, at the end of the day, Mr. Rooney might end up saying he could veto things, obviously, if he chooses to. But Mike Tomlin has decisions and makes most of the decisions in Pittsburgh, and he can say he does it and this, that, and the other. We all know that he's got a lot of pull. He's been here for 18 years. You wouldn't be here that long if you didn't have pull and say. And so I think that's just kind of what you have to figure out for all these teams. Like what happens in terms of, are they the coach, are they the GM, are they both, that kind of stuff. I think the big job out there right now is obviously the question is going to be Dallas.
Yeah.
Right? Mike McCarthy's out, which I think Mike McCarthy's a great coach. I think if you give him, he's an offensive-minded guy. He can do some amazing things. That's going to be like a really coveted job. I think that's one. I know Deion Sanders' name has been thrown around there. I know Coach Tomlin's got 2 years left. We can get into that whole thing, but not that the Cowboys are like the Steelers' rival, but they are in terms of like America's team.
Sure.
Like the Cowboys want to be America's team. We are America's team. But like, I feel like that'd be a place that Tomlin would want to go.
Dallas? Like
it's the big D. It's like it's the big defense. He's a defensive guy. Like he could wear. I'd see him wearing cowboy hats to press conferences and his shades and cowboy boots. And, I can see Tomlin pulling all that. And, I don't know. But I'm not saying it would happen, but I'm just.
You just want to see Tomlin in a cowboy hat.
I'd kind of do.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. I see what you're saying.
But, that's going to be the big job, in my opinion. That's kind of the one that, okay, people are going to want to go to, I think.
Yeah, the only other one two that were interesting to me, because you have Jacksonville, New Orleans looking. But the only other two that were interesting was Las Vegas, because they got rid of Antonio Pierce, which I thought was a good fit. Obviously didn't have success, but I thought it was. I mean, he was a Raider,
What was the success because of him or because of quarterback play? If you don't have a quarterback, you can't play. And so I just think they didn't have a good enough quarterback. I think that hurt them more than anything. Yeah,
and then what happens with ownership calling shots? Now that Tom's involved, what does that look like? I don't know. Again, I don't know what he can do while the broadcasting. Maybe it's a little bit different.
I would imagine he'll have some say. How much, I don't know. But I would think that they will, listen to him.
I mean, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, you should listen to that guy when he talks about football. The only other one that was really interesting to me, because we don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers yet, is the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. Do you think he Jackie Moons it and just gets hired as the head coach?
I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know what is Aaron going to play anymore? I mean, there's been rumors of him coming to Pittsburgh, which I don't think is a good move for the Steelers. I don't think that's what you want. I don't think you want a guy for a 1 year Band-Aid for just because it's. Do you think if you think that you are just a quarterback away, then you go try and find a quarterback that you think can take you over the top? Now that quarterback has to be able to. He got sacked a bunch this year.
Yeah,
like Aaron is not. Listen, Aaron is going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is everything you want. But I don't know that he fits here because you saw what happened. I mean, Russ can move better than Aaron, and Russ couldn't get away from some sacks this year. I think that he comes in, if he came here, he would have to learn a new system again. I don't know that he has anybody to throw the ball to. We've talked about it all year. We don't have a second receiver. Mm-hmm. Is George going to be here? We can talk about that as we get into the family dinner and whatever. I just don't think that Aaron's the fit for here.
Yeah.
For what you're looking for. But I think that Rex Ryan, I know he's thrown his hat in the ring a bunch for the Jets job. I think he is not shy about saying like, this should be my job. Really? Yes. I don't know if they were going to interview him or not, but I think he really wants that job.
That's it. I feel like do you think the play for success for the Steelers would be to get a veteran quarterback with a young line? Because I feel like what Philly did with a veteran line and a young quarterback really worked out. Now, Jalen Hurts is a freak of nature. Yeah. But when you saw when Jason Kelce was there, like he ran that offense.
Yeah. Well, I think I really do like the line that we have. I think they're going through some growing pains, right? We've had injury this year. Our first round pick got injured. So that's a killer. But what you had from our rookie center,
yeah, he was awesome.
He's only going to get better. And that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge in a leadership standpoint. Like he's going to have to, like in his second year. I don't know anything about him. Never heard anything about him. But like he is going to need to step up as a vocal leader of that team and that group, because that group is the one unique unit that always they ride together, they die together. Right? If one lineman says something to somebody, gets in a fight, they're all fighting. If one guy stands up for another, they're all standing up together. Like it's just a group that's always been tight knit. And we can talk with Ramon about this. I know he'll agree with me. So you need a leader in that group, and you need a guy that the center kind of sometimes is just that naturally, right? And I think you got a guy that's played a lot this year, that played well, that's tough, that wants to be out there. And I think that he just naturally needs to step up as a leader next year. Yeah. And then Mason McCormick, I believe, right, is the fourth round guard who played really well this year.
Very well, yeah.
You've got to get those guys are going to be a year better. Okay. You've got to figure out what happens at your tackle spots. Okay. And what I'm going to say is, I thought people are going to get on Dan Moore and Broderick Jones for the amount of sacks they've given up. Broderick needs to step it up. I've watched the film, and I've watched him make mistakes, quite a few mistakes. He's still growing and he's learning, but he can't continue to make mistakes. I watched him play in Baltimore. Both him and Dan both pulled like towards each other. Like if that and the ball ended up running the way that Dan pulled. So I'm assuming that Broderick was wrong. If that play was designed and schemed for both them to pull to like throw off the defense, then fire the OC. Like if that was the design play, because you end up not having anybody blocking a linebacker, where Broderick should have blocked the linebacker. Sure. It doesn't, it's mind-blowing. So I assume he made a mistake, right? Too many times where I'm watching the film and Merrill's sending me stuff where it's like, he made a mistake. You can't do that. You have to learn. You have to grow. Dan Moore, I know people are going to be like, oh, he gave up the most amount of sacks per pass. He's also going against the best defensive rushers that you have. Right? He's going against the Miles. He's going against
Crosby.
He's going against Hendrickson from Cincinnati. Yeah. And so if you have one game where a guy gets 3.5 sacks, all of a sudden you had a bad day. But you can't have a bad day against the best of the business, Yeah. So that line is going to improve, and they need to improve, and they're going to improve when they get guys healthy, and you start to know each other and play better. That's going to be the question that Steeler fans have to, and the coaches have to figure out is, okay, do we want to get a guy that's just a 2 or 3 year Band-Aid, right? A veteran. Do we want to keep Russ? Do we sign Russ to a 2-year deal? Yeah. Try and find our rookie quarterback that can learn for a year or two. Do you think the right quarterback's in this draft? Because if you don't think there's a guy in this draft that is a needle mover, then you have no choice but to wait till the next year. Do you try and keep Russ? Justin. Maybe that's your answer, because Russ is going to ask for too much money. So I think you have to really decide as a fan, as a coach, as the team, do we go after a young guy and really just take our lumps for the next 2 or 3 years as we're going through growing pains and learning? Or do we just keep trying to be 500 and get a veteran guy in here that can play for a year or two until we, maybe just happen to have a bad season and get a top 10 pick? Well, you're going to have to talk about those things. You're going to have to figure those things out, because, there's guys on this team that you have some decisions to make in terms of contracts, both at the quarterback position, at wide receiver position. You got George Pickens. George Pickens you have decisions to make. You either sign him to a long-term deal, which that would be not high on my priority list. You either sign him to a long-term deal and give him a bunch of money. You let him play this year. you franchise him, and then he's gone, so you have 2 years with him. You trade him, because right now is the only time you really have trade that he's worth anything, because next year he's on his last deal anyway.
Right.
So you have to either trade him now and get something for him, or you're just going to ride with him or pay him. Now, the issue with trading him is you don't have a number 2 right now. So if you get rid of your number 1, now you don't have a 1 or a 2. So that means you're going to have to get a receiver in the draft. You're going to have to go sign a veteran receiver. Maybe that's the move. Maybe they go. There are some decent veteran guys that are a little bit older that could be some leaders out there that could bring some leadership to the locker room. Go get a guy like a veteran guy that you're going to have to pay a little bit to, and nothing crazy, for a year or 2. Make him your number 2, and then go draft a stud number 1 at the 22nd pick. Because you have to invest in the offense a little more. The Steelers have to invest in the offense this offseason. And I know people are talking about, okay, does that mean are you trading Minka? Are you trading TJ? Are you trading, what are you doing there? I don't know that I agree with that.
Brother, trading TJ?
I'm telling you, that's what people are talking. People are talking about it. I understand that. But
are you talking like to give him a shot at a team that is successful so you don't waste his career?
Give him a chance to go win one. Every year that he's still here, you lose value. I wouldn't get rid of him.
That doesn't.
I don't think that's the right move. I think you can move on from George and get something for him.
Devontae Adams might be looking for a job.
There's some things out there.
Yeah.
Some options, but those are things that you've got to contemplate this offseason. I think another thing that is, that needs to be bounced around at the quarterback position is, do you give Russ? I would go to Russ and be like, are you willing to take $20 to $25 million for a year or 2? If he says yes, then I would bring him back. If he says no, then I would go to Justin. Not let Justin know what I asked Russ, but be like, are you willing to take 15 to 20 for a year or 2? While you're bridging and trying to find, now you are still actively looking for a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback that can be your guy. If both those guys say no, I would try and find a way to see, okay, is there another guy available? Like a name that might need to get thrown around is Sam Darnold now. Now, Sam Darnold was playing his way into a really big deal. The last couple of weeks, it wasn't as good. Do I think he's your long-term answer? No, but I think that he showed what he can do, and maybe he's your bridge the gap guy. Maybe he's the guy that takes your 15 to 20, maybe 20 to 25. So, is it Derek Carr? Is it Russ Wilson? Is it Sam Darnold? Those are your $20 to $25 million a year guys that you'd be willing to have for a year or 2. I'm not saying they're the answer. I'm just saying that might be what you're trying to do while you're looking for or waiting for a rookie class that is doable.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't think Sam Darnold worked his way into like a Kirk Cousins contract in another team?
I think he did, but I think what you saw last night and what you saw the last few weeks is going to make some people be like, there might be someone out there willing to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe so, but again, I don't know if this draft class, especially at the 21st pick.
Yeah, I don't
think there's a quarterback in the 21st that you can get at that late. Now, obviously, Lamar was picked the last pick, or and was found, but those guys are, they're gems. They're hard to find. You've got to be in the top 10, maybe 15. And at 21, now can we move up into 12? But again, there has to be a quarterback or 2 that you are like, we need that guy.
Yeah.
Like is it Shedeur Sanders? Is it Cam Ward? I think is it the Ohio State kid? Is he going to come out? Howard? There's a kid at Syracuse and a kid at Louisville that are actually pretty good. Like, are those guys that you might be able to sneak in that 20-something pick, or do you have to trade a guy and move up? I don't know, but you have to decide, and maybe we can ask Evan as a fan, like. You have to decide, are you willing to take some lumps for a couple years and get a rookie quarterback that, we might not win for a couple years? Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't know that I can't speak because I'm not a born and bred Yinzer. I can't speak.
I know, and listen, Steelers fans are going to say, they're tired of just the winning season thing,
sure,
because they're losing season in the postseason.
Yep,
but are you willing to go 6-11?
And is the
potentially
is the quarterback play the issue? Obviously, Russ didn't perform great on the back half of the season, but there's a lot of that didn't perform great. I mean, there were a lot of issues that we were running into, and you always ask the question that what if game's dangerous, but like Justin was 4-2.
Yeah, I know, and Russ came in and went 6-7 one, or like there's the streak there was unbelievable. When he was playing great in the first game, was 400 some yards of offense, and it got everyone super excited. The questions that I would ask when it comes to Russ is, it seems like, we talked about this when Russ comes in the game. Every time he comes to the line of scrimmage, it seemed like everyone talked about Russ has more command of the offense. Yes. I would agree with that. When it came to line of scrimmage, when I watched it again, I'm watching from behind a screen.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, you're one of us now.
I am. I don't know what's going on. I don't have pertinent information to the playbook, this, that, and the other. It felt like every time they came to the line of scrimmage, Russ was audible and he was changing plays, he was checking, and maybe it was all dummy stuff. Maybe he was just hard counting, trying to get people to declare and move around. But it felt like we were sitting there talking about his command at the line of scrimmage was different. So my question is, though, if he's at the line of scrimmage every single time, either changing a play, checking a play, seeing what the defense is doing, like doing something, either he doesn't understand exactly what's going on, he's trying to figure it out, he doesn't trust the play call. Because, I mean, there were times when I was 7-8 years in the same system, I felt like I had total control of the offense. When a play call came in, I wasn't changing every play. Yeah. There was a lot of plays I wasn't changing. Is he comfortable with not changing a protection? Because it looks like this, let me slide down and protect this. I don't know. I'm just asking questions because it seems like he's changing a lot. So, does that mean that the coordinator's not calling good enough plays that when it comes in, Russ gets it, he comes to the line of scrimmage like, this play's not working, I got to change it? Or is he just not comfortable? Or is it just dummy stuff? Again, I don't know. I'm spitballing a lot of things here that I think in another year in the system, potentially Russ could get more comfortable.
Sure.
And he might just roll with more things. I think I definitely think that there's something to be said about them not working in the middle of the field. Again, is that a play caller thing, or is that a quarterback thing?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm 6'5". I can't see over most linemen either. Most guys are my size, plus they're stand-up blocking, helmet, shoulder pads, cleats. But at my height, I can see over more than a guy that's under 6 foot can see.
Sure.
It can't be easy to throw the middle of the field. If you're throwing to the middle of the field when you have 5 guys in front of you, you have to throw through lanes.
Not over top.
Not over top. If there's lanes, then you can work through. Working the middle of the field requires lanes, requires, even if it's just 2 guys, but maybe he can't see the middle of the field. Maybe it's not called. Maybe it's not designed. Maybe he doesn't like throwing it. I don't know what it is, but you have to utilize the middle of the field more than we did. And that means Pat Freiermuth and other guys in there, Calvin Austin in there. Like, where are your little juke routes? Where are your in-breaking dig routes over the middle? Where are your deep curls in the middle of the field? Utilize matchups. When you've got a guy like Pat and you've got a guy like Austin, put George Pickens in there. Get some guys that can create mismatch problems on nickel receivers, on linebackers. We would do that. We'd bring Antonio Brown in there. And because you know what? Him matched up on a linebacker is a win. Mm-hmm. We would bring Chase Claypool in there, Martavis. You would bring guys that are outside receivers in there to utilize them to match up, to create mismatch problems. I didn't see that. I didn't see us scheming guys open. There were a couple cool concepts you would see here and there, but they were all outside throws. And so that's why I'm just asking the question. Again, I'm just asking a question. Why did we not utilize the middle of the field more? Was it because of Russ? He didn't like it, didn't want it, didn't see it, or it wasn't schemed for it? So all questions that I am just asking as a fan now watching the game. And
you'd probably have to go back to answer this question, go back and watch the tape. Did you see any more of that with Justin, who is 6'3"?
He might be bigger than that. He might be 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, I mean, he's a big guy. Like, did you see any more of that with somebody who could potentially see the middle of the field?
I'd have to go back.
I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, no, not a lot. But again, Justin isn't your natural thrower either, right? Russ is more of your natural pocket passer.
Yeah, sure.
So you're designing different things. So yeah, you're right. It could be a scheme thing. It could be we're not doing this, or you might be going into practice and you might be scheming these things, but then you never call them in the games. And if that's the case, it's like, well, what's the lack of confidence?
Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you practice stuff you're never going to use?
Well, I mean, it happens. Everyone does it, but how much are you doing it? You know?
What's the percentage of that? And then you talked about changing stuff at the line and not trusting the OC. If you're not having success, if that's the case, and plays are being changed and they're not seeing success, then is the problem even the OC? Because you're not even seeing his plays. If they're getting switched, you know what I mean?
Again, yes, that's a question.
Again, we're asking questions.
I don't know.
But
It's because, again, I don't know what at the line of scrimmage, good quarterbacks would do dummy signals, dummy calls, all these things. So how much is really who would do that?
I don't know.
How much of that is real, how much is fake, how much is change, and how much is, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of questions that I don't have answers for. I can only ask on this show as a fan.
Isn't it better as a fan? We just get to wildly speculate about stuff.
Wildly speculate. I'm sure people will take what I said as like truth, though, and then get on me for it. But hey.
Ben said he knows everything.
He's got the inside scoop.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know how little...
I know.
how little we actually know here. I mean, listen, as I crack open this next beer we're journeying into, those are all valid questions, man. I don't know how you obtain the answers. I don't know how, and I think that's the more challenging thing is that it just feels like there's a level of inconsistency throughout, specifically those last 5 games where we're like, what's the issue here? Like, because for a while people were barking about our secondary. Yeah. For a while we were talking about the middle of the field early on. For a while we didn't have a second receiver. For a while it was the quarterback play. Like, what is it?
It could be a little bit of everything, to be honest.
Right.
I mean,
oh geez, look at this.
I don't know.
Right, and then you have, and we'll get into this in a little bit because I do think we can't talk about this game without talking about this question is the coaching staff. Like, you lose that game and people freak out about that.
Yeah.
But before we get there, let's do this next beer.
Let's do a beer. Let's take a break.
There you go.
Let's let the brain go from much to composite again.
There you go.
Maybe we can get some food here. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Is Gatorade? We're wearing down. We need some Gatorade.
This is called... It's a spiced sangria hard seltzer from Abstract Realm Brewing Company. It's got orange citrus, grape, cranberry, allspice, and clove. They put everything in here, apparently.
I have one nostril that works really well, so I'm kind of, if you see me out to the side sniffing.
You might only get the first half then. It's 6.5%.
Is it a, oh, you said
it's a spiced sangria hard seltzer.
What exactly is sangria? That's wine
and rum, I believe. Like a aged wine with a little bit of... I hit him with it. Hey, don't hurt him now.
Okay.
What you got there? That is bright pink for those listening to audio only. This is a bright pink drink. Don't lie, you love that. You a fan?
I would drink it.
You said that. You said that. You were so proud. Like, yeah, man. I
Listen, this is not...
It smells good.
9 degrees weather.
No. We should have took this last week.
We should have took this with us.
We played ourselves.
This is something that Brendan Conley would drink with a straw and a cup of ice.
Oh, yeah, out of a coconut.
Yes, he would.
Little umbrella.
It's pretty good.
That's nice.
It is good.
I'm going to be honest with you. I might ask Brendan to grab me one, too. He's getting them. That's really good. I don't know if I'm going to do 16 ounces of this.
Well, I'm going to do 2 more.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Halfway through, you might be like, yo.
I might. Well, it tastes almost like, you said 6% or something?
6.5. It's a seltzer.
Oh, it's a hard seltzer. It doesn't taste like 6.5.
Something that color cannot be good for you.
I agree.
That's like neon pink.
Well, that's just the cranberries.
Okay. Sure.
It says give them what they want. What do y'all want, fans? Tell me what y'all want besides me coming back or being the coordinator.
Or where to get those hats.
Yeah, we're gonna get y'all some gear. Hey, by the way, as again, we're gonna get back into the football talk because we have a lot more to say. We are inching closer to 100K subscribers. We keep moving up, and you know what that means, folks. That is going to be a new cookbook, special, and I think we're going to add. This year's might be a little fun and different.
Ooh.
Because I was telling you, Spence, like we should do something cool for the fans. Like when we do it, like I like what you guys did, where you picked like this. If we did it for the next football season, you kind of pick something from that city. Yeah. I think that then we should do something where like if it's like so next year like we play the Lions.
Yeah. That's
Detroit. Mm-hmm. Well, we can either put like I can talk about the play that Juju caught the like 95-yard touchdown run on or touchdown pass on, or we can talk about a Super Bowl story, but put like some sort of a story or a picture with each recipe / city.
I love that.
That'd be kind of cool to think about. But
hey, that was over the middle of the field. That's weird.
Oh, was it?
Didn't he run?
Weird how that works.
Yeah. All back. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So we're inching closer to that. So we get to that. We got to get to it quick because we got to make it before the season comes so that y'all can have it for the season next year.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk to our sponsors and our friends at Giant Eagle. Maybe we can sell them at Giant Eagle or something too. Dude. Maybe I could sign some.
Oh, you do that for us?
I would do that for the family.
Thanks,
for the family. For the football and family. And we need to make some gear, football and family gear too, by the way, for the family.
For the family.
Y'all know who y'all are.
For the family. You get it. Yeah.
But the merch.
Here, I got you. I'll punch in. Yep. That was good too.
Yeah, I'm wearing a camo today.
I couldn't even see you were wearing one. It would blend in.
I know.
Yeah.
We're going to start. We got our football and koozies.
Look at
all
us.
All kinds of stuff.
We're the only ones that have it.
We're the only ones that have it, yeah. No one else can get it, sorry. We would like to make you guys some stuff.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it to you in due time. All right.
Okay.
Well,
sorry.
With that being said, let's jump into the game recap. So, Steelers-Ravens went as you predicted. You had said on this show that it was either going to be one of those AFC battles, neck and neck, or it was going to be a blowout. And 28-14 was a score. It was
not that close.
Don't think it reflected the game appropriately. Lot to talk about. I just want to go into something that's kind of been an issue, I feel like, the entire season, and that's I feel like the offense has just historically been starting slow. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, but I'd be curious, like, how do you fix a slow start? What I did see them do, which was...
Start faster.
Ain't nobody mentioned that?
Man, it's crazy.
What are you guys doing to me?
Unbelievable concept.
Hey, man, what if we start this thing a little faster? What I did see that I thought was, a nice change of pace is they didn't run it on first down. Came out and threw the ball.
Yeah, I know they did, but I still feel like Bruce Gradkowski texted me, and he was like, "This game is so frustrating," and I'm like, "I know," and he goes, "I remember, Ben, when you and I would talk about." He goes, "You should tell me, give me 4 downs to get you 10 yards, and let me throw it on at least 3 of them. I want 4 downs. If I can throw it on 3 of them, I'm gonna get you 10 yards." But if you're not, but you need to throw 3-yard routes, throw a 4-yard, throw a 6-yard, throw a 10-yard curl route. Like I don't see, we used to have a route called semi. It was a 10 to 12-yard out route. I threw that ball 5 to 6 times a game in different ways. It was a failure. I mean, AB caught 1 billion of them.
Yeah.
Mike, I mean, every receiver had caught that ball over and over. We even had tight ends running that route. I haven't seen it one time since. Like, that was a go-to, like a bread and butter call. And especially when you got a guy like with George Pickens that's like a go ball guy, like get him running and go out. I don't know. But when you're not catching that 7 to 10 yard pass, okay, throw it on first down, you don't complete it, come back with something, not like a crazy concept. You don't come back with a flea flicker or a big hard play action, rolling out half. I mean, you just simple drop back passing game. Ball can come out quick. That's fine. It doesn't need to be deep stuff. Get the ball out of your hand, hit guys on diagonal routes, throw little pick routes, run quick shallow crosses, things like that. Usually you start faster. When you realize that you're in a little bit of a slump starting fast, you go to your top 10 plays and you have your quarterback say, hey, what are your 10, the ball is out of your hand or you are the most comfortable with this play? So that you feel, and you've got 10 of them, and you feel like you can, like the quarterback has to get into a rhythm in order for things to work and be successful. And so that's what you have to do. You have to find out what makes the quarterback happy and what keeps him successful, which keeps everything else moving forward.
Yeah. Pitt was outgained in the first half, 306 to 59. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had only 2 first downs. Baltimore had 19, and we were 1-5 on third downs. That's just the first half.
Third downs is what it is. When you can't convert third downs, but I think wasn't the average to go on third down 7 point something yards, something ridiculous. I think I saw at one point.
We had long, yeah.
You can't do that. Yeah. You can't get behind the chains for this offense, especially when you talk about that the line can't block or you can't do this, that, and the other. Or what you need to do is you need to keep someone in to help block. Now I think sometimes there were times it looked like maybe Russ was changing the protection, keeping a tight end in to pick up maybe a blitz or something that he saw, and they end up not blitzing. So now you lose an extra receiver, right? But again, if you don't have a secondary receiver that's going to threaten the defense, it's really hard to get people the ball down the field.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about third downs. There's that one was a 3rd and 2 on a 28-yard line. They don't run it for 2 yards, right? They throw it to Pat, gets tackles just shy of it, and it's 4th and inches. Still pretty early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't go for that. Seems like a no-brainer. Justin Fields package. Be aggressive against Baltimore. Baltimore's going for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was your take on that?
Well, it's interesting that the week before, I know it was the end of the half, but he went for it and not living in the fears, and this week didn't do it. I mean, I feel like if you're at the point where you're like, okay, we can't stop them, we gotta do everything we can. I remember in that game against the Packers a long time ago when Aaron Rodgers was there, and we've talked about on this show when it literally was like whoever has the ball last is going to win this game, and we did because we had the ball last, and where we scored a touchdown and we onside kicked it with a lead just so they could score quicker. Like you can't be afraid. What is it? You can't live in your fears. Cut your eyelids off. Don't blink. This, that, and the other. Like then go for it. In that situation, if your defense isn't stopping them and they've got hundreds of yards more than you, then you need to go for it and you need to find a way to keep your offense on the field. Now you can sit there and say, okay, you want Pat to break that tackle. That's for a tight end. We used to always say put it in front of him because when a tight end has to turn and kind of come backwards, it slows him down and then he can get hit really quick.
Yeah.
So, that's just there's just a lot of plays there that need to be made.
Yeah.
Mr. Evan.
Oh, hey, Evan.
Help.
Well, Evan, it's so interesting, man. We start talking about the Steelers and you just appear. You're like a Yinzer Beetlejuice. You know what I mean? Good to see you, my brother. Beard's looking right today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And people always want to make fun of me for eating.
Right, and then they see
every
this
single week.
Yeah. Well,
keep going.
Yeah, here. Let me do this.
Just keep eating.
Just keep eating.
Good.
Hungry.
I'm gonna do the old little.
Napkin for you.
Thank you, sir. You know I'll need it. I'm gonna position this just a little bit so that people can see what
do
you
your
made
thing
here.
first.
Here you are. Look at that.
Somebody else has been using my microphone.
Oh yeah, that was Chef
Or
Glenn.
am I shrinking?
Yeah. Are you
it too
shrinking?
tall
Is
for
it
you?
too tall?
No, I'm fine now.
You're sure
Oh,
she's
well, I
over
had to
there?
test it.
No, it's good.
I don't think I moved it though.
Hello.
It sounds great.
Yep.
All right, what do we got here, Ev?
In the front, you have Mexican street corn dip with some Tostitos scoops.
Scoops.
Scoops. Yep. And then the tacos, they're short rib and black bean tacos. A little bit of pickled veg on there and some crema. And the sandwich is it's a chicken sandwich, but also like a jalapeno popper chicken sandwich.
Jeez, Ev.
So it's got like the cream cheese with jalapenos in it, a little bit of pineapple, and on top of grilled chicken.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll do.
Wow. Okay. And this is the family dinner, all brought to you by Giant Eagle, our friends over there. And this food, including the Tostitos, the bag of, you made the Tostitos?
No.
From scratch.
All of this,
Yes.
specifically bought at the Market District in Robinson.
Correct.
Thank you so much to Giant Eagle, everybody there. You keep us going, even when we're down and out.
28
when we
to
lose
14.
games, we still can smile because we can go to Giant Eagle and we can get amazing food like this, and we can celebrate our losses with great food.
Giant Eagle been saving postseason losses since 2017. You know what I'm saying?
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got it.
All right, Evan. So as I pull this off this plate and put it on this plate,
Okay.
I would wonder if this was this season and my plate was next season.
Oh.
How would you approach? And listen, I want to preface all this with, Evan, you're a Yinzer.
Correct.
You know you are.
Yes.
And you're not shy about it. We know
Proudly.
that.
He's a proud Yinzer.
My question, and this is coming from this is why we bring you down here. You're more than just the chef of the football and family. You are the voice of the people. That's right. More so than either one of us even.
The people's champ really is what they call him. That's just what people are saying.
For sure. No pressure. So the people want to know. I want to know what the people are saying on the streets. What are you and your people saying about your thoughts for quarterback situation next year? Is it, I don't want to lead you down a road,
Yeah.
but I'd like to just ask a question.
The first thing that runs through my head is again in all capital letters with many question marks. Like again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Frustrating. That's why I wore my I dressed up. I don't know if you can see.
Hey, you didn't have to dress up for us, man.
I'm in mourning, so
yeah. Oh, okay.
I thought
nice.
it'd be nice to dress up.
So I pose the question to the fans.
Yeah.
Do you bring in a veteran guy, maybe a Sam Darnold, maybe a Derek Carr? Do you ask Russ to come back on a lower deal than, like a $20 to $25 million 2-year deal just to and if he doesn't take it, maybe it's Justin Fields. Do you bring a guy in for a couple years while you're trying to find your rookie guy? Or do you, and with the chances that you're going to be just over 500 or 500 again, which I know people are getting tired of the whole 500 thing, or do you say, you know what, we're going to find our rookie quarterback and we're going to have heartache and probably some struggles for the first 2 or 3 years, but it could pay off in the years to come?
Normally, I would say, let's make a few changes and see what we can come back with next year. If all else fails, we might get another winning season. So everybody loves the winning seasons. But I'm taking the approach this time, blow it up.
What?
Blow it up.
Sink the ship.
Sink the dang ship.
Hold on. What does that?
Just get rid of
everybody?
Everybody that you can get rid of, get rid of. I'm done.
Everybody.
I can't.
Are you getting rid of the head coach too?
If only we were lucky enough.
What?
Just blow it up.
Are you trading?
No, I don't think they'd trade him. I don't think they'd even get rid of him. Again, this is what goes on in my mind.
This is just what you're thinking.
This is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But I'm just I'm at breaking point with it. Yeah, I'm tired.
And you're very passionate about this days later.
How many dishes did you break up there before you came down?
Feeling the same thing? Are you guys out there feeling the same thing?
Something has to change. The whole feeling in the locker room, we shouldn't have players that need babysat. They're grown men. Get in there, do your job, Then get out. Then that's it. Whatever happened to the go to work mantra? I'm sure that used to be a mantra.
Bring your lunch pail to work.
Let's just do it.
Hard hat, lunch pail.
Get in there, and get in, get out, get going. That's a promo for GetGo right there. That's on their wall. So yeah,
GetGo knows.
So
GetGo knows.
Regardless, something needs to change, and it needs to change drastically because everyone looks like they're giving up. Everyone looks like, and I don't mean to take shots at people, and I'm not trying to be, this armchair quarterback or this overweight.
I got that covered.
Overweight guy that just sits there and yells at the TV while he's eating cheese-filled pretzels. I think something needs to change, and whether people agree with me or not, this is just where I'm at right now. A week from now, I could be like, what?
I love Coach too.
I overreacted.
Keep everybody.
Everybody.
Let's just try it again. I do think Fields gives us a good option, and like you said, if you want to go, whatever the record would be, a non-winning record, or again another winning record, woo. But it's to the point where changes need to be made, and us as Steeler fans, I think, are ready for that change to happen, and if we have a couple losing seasons in a row, it's going to stink and it's going to be terrible. But at the same time, if we get a better outcome, a better quarterback, and somebody that they can build around, then I think it's worth the sacrifice. Because look at it this way: we have a winning season, we go and we exit the first round of the playoffs again. That feeling sucks. It is. It's a terrible feeling. So. What's the difference?
Sorry, kids. He meant it stinks.
I'm sorry. Is that bad? No. Okay.
We'll fix it in post.
Good. Dump him.
Yeah.
No. I just think that, what's the difference between a first round exit and not even getting to the playoffs, at this point?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it really is, because
I get the frustration.
My
problem is I don't have the answer. So I feel how you feel.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to voice it because I don't have to. What do you do?
I know, that's why I went so extreme with it and said blow it up, because
I knew I respected you.
What else can you do? You can't just keep doing the same thing. It's like Groundhog's Day. You can't just keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity.
True. Okay.
And I'm tired of being insane.
So, I have a question.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to or should fire Tomlin, okay? That's what I'm saying. Now, my question is, what if the Rooney's called Mike in, called Coach T in? Hey, Coach, we're going to keep you around. Do you want to go somewhere? We won't tell anybody. Is there another place that you would want to go because your kids are not here anymore? You know, like you're kind of been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Is there a place that you just hear calling your name? And he says, yeah, I'm going to go blank, says a team. And and says basically, you could fire Coach Tomlin and then he could go there. Or Coach T could be like, I'm going to help y'all out. I'm going to help the Steelers out on my way out one last time because I love this city. Because if he says I just want to leave, Steeler fans, I mean, I know there's some that would be like, yeah, he's gone. But there's going to be some people like, man, really? Like a little bit hurt, right? But if he says, I'm going to help it, trade me to a team for someone, would that make a fan be like, I love that guy? I
mean, I think personally, and again, like I'm still seeing red, so like any of these comments, like they're not final on my part. I apologize, Coach T. I'm not trying to, burn any bridges with anybody, but I'm saying to the point of if he could do something to help the team, I think that everybody would look at that more or less like, okay, yes, he is helping the team and he's going somewhere, like a fresh start for everybody. Mm-hmm. But the thing that creeps back into my mind every time is when Mr. Rooney was saying, he kind of gave him an ultimatum by saying, we want to see something different this year, win a playoff game, and it's terrible that that's the standard now is to win a playoff game and not, a Super Bowl. And I'm sure people are tired of hearing all that too. But, we can't just keep setting the bar at one point and then and moving the goalposts, so to say, and saying, okay, well, we'll give you one more year because, the more we wait, the further behind we're getting. Mm-hmm. Instead of like just admitting that, we don't have the key pieces that we need offensively and maybe the coach doesn't want to go through a full rebuild. So again, like offering the trade is a good option for him to get himself somewhere and also give us a fresh start and start looking at things differently than we have been. Mm-hmm. It just needs to be, shaken up. Mm-hmm. I think.
Well, that's what I mentioned before you came down. I mentioned that about George Pickens. If you're going to move on from him, you got to do it now.
Absolutely.
Because now is the only time you're going to get something for him.
Well, I mean.
But you don't have a number 2 receiver, and if you get rid of him, you don't have a 1 or a 2. So I mentioned I think they should go get a veteran guy, number 2.
Yeah.
That also gives you a little bit of leadership, and then go draft a 1.
Yeah, Steelers have always had decent luck getting wide receivers in the drafts, and
they've had a lot of success getting good receivers late in the draft. Could also help. They had a pretty good quarterback at the time that helped those receivers.
Correct. Yeah. Yes, I was getting
whoever
to
that was.
I can't remember his name, but
we'll get to it. We'll find it.
But we can't keep getting these wide receivers that just don't know how to react in normal situations, because that doesn't do anything but disrupt the locker room. And if you have, any of the older players that have to take time out of their day or use their energy to calm somebody down or make sure somebody gets there on time or any of those things, it takes away from the whole team, and then it just causes disruptions in the locker room.
Yeah.
So, and you bring that onto the field.
You need accountability. There needs to be accountability in that room.
Yeah.
Whether that's coaches, players, there has to be accountability. That's something that we would preach. When I was there, we preached to guys accountability. And guys have to look at themselves in the mirror and point the thumb, not the finger, and say, I need to be more accountable.
Well, you would think that would come down from the head coach.
You would think. And I heard it this year for the first time from Coach T after that Cincinnati game, right? When he said George needs to grow up or whatever.
Yeah.
First time I've heard him do anything like that in a long time. I was really excited, but I don't know that it's sticking.
No.
I don't know.
Nope.
I get your frustration. I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second. I get your frustration. I share your sentiment. But Coach T ain't just like one of them coaches. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
Right? So who do we replace, if that's the case, who's going to replace him to where you're not hiring another guy in 3 years? Because the problem that I feel like we're lacking, at least on the offensive side of the balls. I mean, there's no identity here. I mean, there's no like Pittsburgh Steeler football is. We don't know what that is right now.
Well, he's a defensive coach to start,
but even on defense,
but again, like it's.
So who's the answer? Is what I'm saying.
I don't. Does he have his grip too tight on the defense and the offense that he doesn't want to let go? And like what
Can
are these?
I say something shocking?
Yeah, please.
What a great preface.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Would you like to finish?
No,
Did I already bother? Did I already threw you off?
No, I still have it, but I don't know how long I will.
Write it down in your notebook.
I think if we are moving on from Coach T, this. I hear me say this. If they move on, not they should. If they move on from Mike T, I think for the first time in 30 years, they should go with an offensive-minded head coach.
Please
get an offensive-minded head coach because Cowher was defense, Mike T was defense.
Yeah,
get an offensive-minded head coach to come in here to lead the offense and let him bring in a really good defensive coordinator that can run the defense. He doesn't need to have his 2 cents in. I mean, he's going to ultimately be the head coach, so he can say what he wants.
Yeah.
But bring a defensive coordinator in that's a good dude, like I say, good dude, a stud defensive coordinator. Let him handle the defense. You still keep the precedent of it's all about defense in Pittsburgh. You still have a guy that knows what it means to be a defensive coordinator and what it means to have a defense that's a top 5 defense. But let your head coach step back from the defense and focus on the offense. You don't need to have it. Like when there were a couple years where we were a top 3 offense in the league for consecutive years. You don't have to have that, but you should strive to have a top 5 offense because you know that your defense is going to show up every week because you have studs. So that's just my 2 cents if they move on from Coach T. Let an offensive-minded head coach come in. Yeah,
and I think that like as Pittsburgh, our identity is or was defense. It was smash mouth. We were angry. They didn't take anything from anybody. I mean, they were getting in fights before the game would start. Like where is that passion? We don't have it anymore. And the league has shifted to an offensive league. So as the times change, you have to change too, or you're going to get left behind. You look at all these teams that are in the playoffs now. They're all strong offensively. They have a strong quarterback, so on and so forth. And that right now is where the league is at. So that means in return, your secondary and your run defense, they have to be somewhat elite as well because all these high-powered offense, I don't know how to say it right. Offenses.
Take it from one.
Our offense is offensive at times.
Yeah, it's got to be offensive.
Well, it's very offensive. Correct word, wrong situation.
Yes.
But, it just, you have to change with the times. And I think that the Steelers are a little late to that party. And I'm not saying that they're stuck like that forever because, in 8 to 10 years it could change, or 5 years it could change to a defensive league again.
Yeah, we'll have an AI head coach. It won't even matter.
You have to be fluid. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overreacting.
No, do you see a guy out there now that you like?
No. I don't. I haven't even taken the time to think of a coach at this point. It's still, the pieces are still coming back to me and falling into place, and there's a lot of bad things.
Nothing's going to change in the quarterback. No, the coach isn't going anywhere.
I don't think so. And like I know I started the show like real hot there, and I just thought
cooling off a little bit.
I was trying to shake it up for myself, because I don't want to be that fan that is down on the Steelers the whole offseason, and then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 games in, they're winning, and then I'm back into it. Like, that's not who I am. Like, they're very important to me, and also to my mood. So it's like, I know that's weird, but that's just
your mood ring.
That's just it. I mean, I don't know.
This is how you know that Evan's for real, because he is a diehard Notre Dame fan.
Oh boy!
And Notre Dame is going to the national championship game, and yet he comes over here and is just salty as all salty gets. Just like, my year's ruined.
Yeah.
Notre Dame just won national championship. Steelers are out, whatever.
Yep. Well, they come first.
So that's what I'm saying. That's a fan. So
yeah.
Evan, I don't want you to go anywhere.
I'm not going.
But do you have anything else you'd like to add? When it comes to the Steelers, when it comes to the Pirates, the Penguins, anything?
Not really. I mean, sell the team. Which one?
The Lord?
At this point. Take a pick. There's 3 of them.
Oh, boy.
But, you have, as a sports fan, you realize that there's going to be seasons like this. You can't win every single game. you can't win every single playoff game or Super Bowl or Stanley Cup or World Series, and as the team changes and they react and they have their emotions, fans have them as well. And, sometimes we lash out and we say things that we don't mean because, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but, we overreact. But at the same time, we want what's good for the team and what's good for the city and for the fans as well. And I'm sure they do also. But, in the heat of those moments where we look and we're like, oh, why couldn't they make that play? Or why didn't they do that? Things happen in the game, as you know, very, very quickly. And as we watch it on TV and we're seeing it in slow motion, those players don't have the luxury of seeing the play before it happens. So, they just react on what they know and what they've learned and how they've been taught. So, be angry, but also understand that, they're people too.
They're people too. We are people.
We're all
Players
people.
Are people.
Is that true? Are you?
We are people. Yeah. We are people. Well, Evan, that sandwich that I don't have anymore that he's eating right now was spectacular.
Thank you.
That was unbelievable. We are inching closer to our 100,000.
Uh-oh.
You know what that means? Cookbook time. We are going to explore some fun off-season things, maybe with you as well.
I'm ready.
We're not going to tell you, though.
Don't tell me.
Surprise. We're actually going to put a blindfold, and then you're just going to, we're going to take it off, and you're like, what's going on?
We just dropped Evan off in Poland for a month.
I'm just going to drop you a pin. Just there you go, man. So she looks like a Poland.
Yeah,
just like.
We are so thankful, Evan, for you, for all the stuff you did this season. We'll see about this offseason. We're going to try and get Ramon Foster here next week.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
Yes.
Here's some fun stories from him.
I love stories.
Hopefully that happens. And I don't know if you heard, we were going to have Santonio here next week, but they're in the national championship game. I don't know if you've heard.
Who?
Ohio State.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Could be tough. So anyway, we are going to, on Evans, I'm not going to call it a rant because it wasn't a rant. Well, it was love and passion.
Somebody had to listen to it, so.
Well, listen. We're happy to be that for you. And the that's what having a family is about. And and you are part of the football and family.
And I appreciate that.
And the football and family appreciates you, Evan. Thank you to Giant Eagle, our sponsors, who give us this food that allow us to eat it while Evan rants. It soothes us.
There's actually an eagle on the back of my shirt.
Prove it.
Boy.
No joke.
Prove it.
When I bought this shirt, I bought it online and I saw the tuxedo front. And I'm like, everybody has to have a shirt like this in their closet, just in case.
Is that a Philadelphia Eagle?
No.
Oh.
How amazing. A little embarrassing, but that's okay. And I'd also like to say I appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this with you guys and everyone that watches. It's, very exciting for me, and I enjoy it.
Well,
we love you, brother.
We love you, Evan. And on that, we are going to say thank you, everybody out there, for watching. And we will, as Spence always says, check the socials, do all the stuff that he normally says that I don't know what to say. So I'm just going to say, bye. See ya.